Hi, I'm Katie Parks, and I am a student athlete at the University of Kansas.
Hi, my name is Emily Jones, and I am a student manager at the University of Kansas.
And today we're going to be discussing what athletic departments can do to help support student athletes navigating name, image, and likeness. So first off, I kind of just ease into it, I guess. NIL is just another thing student athletes can juggle, I guess. So on top of academics and athletics, they now have name, image, and likeness. So how stressful do you think it is, Emily?
Uh, well, I feel like on the outside looking in at the athletes, like I feel like it's kind of a lot to juggle sometimes, like as far as performing like on the court or on the field, and then worrying about your NIL. Like sometimes it can be a lot of pressure. Like sometimes because I feel like well, under like my opinion, like NIL is kind of based on like how you perform. So I feel like if you're not performing, like, oh, I'm not gonna get this deal, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. Like I feel like it can definitely like affect the mental side of things. So I feel like there needs to be resources, to help athletes, better just, like prioritize that.
Yeah, for sure. I also agree, like, when you consider like branding and stuff, a lot of this branding comes through the athlete's social media. And that
Mhm.
tends, like, I mean, social media has always been a problem since we've been on it about people being mean and judgy. So I think this just adds a whole nother element.
Yeah, I definitely agree because in one of my other classes, we wrote about like how does social media affect like body image in student athletes,
Mhm.
and um, a lot of these these younger girls, they look at these athletes and they see their bodies like they want to you know try to be how they want to look how their role model looks, and like little do you know, like your role model may be struggling with like eating disorders or something, and like having their own problems like for themselves, and just social media just really just isn't what it seems, because people can like if you say like, oh, like Angel Reese, for example, how she was struggling with mental health or whatever.
Yeah,
And well, like she says, some people were like, oh, she's soft, like, she's
right.
not, she's faking it or whatever. Like it was really her grades or whatever, but like you really never know like what's happening behind the scenes or whatever. And a lot of people like stress eat or they just don't eat. And that can cause like a lot of body image issues, which can um which is like not a good like representation like to our like young athletes, if that makes
Right.
sense.
I also like remember it was like a couple months ago, uh Livy Dunn was getting some hate because she was editing her pictures.
Yep.
Everyone's just crapping on her because they're like, you're already skinny. Why are you making yourself skinnier? And then people would like the before and after, it's like she was editing her hair, and it's just like social media is just like you want to be seen a certain way. And
Yeah.
I think I've done the same thing.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie, I edited my pictures. I've made my teeth a little whiter, made me a little skinnier.
Yeah. And I feel
I
like
mean,
it's definitely nothing wrong with that, because I've definitely, like, make my skin clear or whatever. Like, and
yeah,
it's just, I feel like the beauty standards these days, like as far as like in the sports industry, is just awful because, I mean, it is getting better. Like certain people are starting to represent their bodies how they want to, but there's always just some backlash behind it. Just there's always that one person behind the screen saying whatever they want to about, oh, like, maybe a girl, she's overweight, she has a hijab on or whatever. Like it's just like it's
right.
always just something just controversial with anything you're posting. But I feel like it's definitely nothing wrong with that, because there is beauty standards, and you want to look good. Like you want to feel like you look good. You want to look at your pictures. You don't want to look at it too long and be like, oh, I don't like this
Right.
anymore. Like, you just want to fix it how you want to fix it. So I definitely feel like there's nothing wrong with editing pictures.
Yeah. So I definitely think like there should be some towards a or some type of mental health like advocacy, especially for NIL, maybe like some classes on how to not necessarily like not take hate, but at the same time like be able to be like, okay, what can I do to not experience this and like make
Yeah.
sure my brand is what I want my brand to be.
Yeah, or like some like social media training on like how to just offer better guidance and like how to use your social media responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Because
like if
like even for us, like we never gotten anything. All we did like at our beginning of the year meetings was just like, don't post with alcohol, don't post like with drugs or anything. Like it was like all stuff, don't post to make it was to so you wouldn't make the university look bad.
Yeah, because you always want to maintain like a positive image, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's definitely needs to be like a because they just say that, but that's just like so surface level. Like, say
Yeah.
if you know, if you were Kendall Kipp or whatever her name is that plays for Stanford, just imagine like how she has to like manage her social media because people are always hating.
Hmm.
Even when she got Pac-12 or ACC, whatever conference it is, Player of the Year, like she just got, you know, basically saying like she didn't deserve it, basically, and somebody else should have got it. Like there needs to be training on how to like handle that and just ignore it. But like you can't always ignore it, especially like if it's on your phone. Like you just want to look at it sometimes. Like,
Right. And it like even going back to last year, the whole Wisconsin volleyball thing, like that was
oh
such a big deal. And obviously some
yeah,
some nudes were leaked.
hmm
And I think they handled it well. They acted like they didn't care, so it kind of blew over. But I mean, if that
definitely
was
that's
me, I would be so like
embarrassing.
anxiety, stressed. I would just be like, everyone can see that. And then obviously, like what it looks like at the university because she's in the locker room.
Exactly. They definitely probably had a talk with their team, like to I mean, it's kind of like you made your bed, now you have to lay in it. So it's just like
Right.
um the pictures and now the memes and like what people think of you, like there's really like you really have to like turn over a new leaf and just like ignore it. And then did they win the national championship that year?
That was so that year,
That was the year before they
yeah,
won.
it got leaked the year after. But that
Yeah.
year that they like took all of them,
Yeah.
it was that year.
Yeah, it was definitely like a that I would have been really embarrassed, just embarrassed to just like I don't know, just like my parents, like just find out all
Right.
this stuff. Like I would have just I just wouldn't
I
have
was
put my
even embarrassed just to be like a college volleyball player. And my dad was
oh
like it was mentioned in front of my dad, and I was like, we're not doing
exactly.
that,
Just
I swear.
imagine, yes, like just imagine like how like their parents react to that stuff. Like it's just
Yeah.
so, and like you get told like even when you're young, like in middle school and high school, like don't record while people are changing, whatever, whatever. But it's just like that, just like
Right.
blew up and just took it to a whole nother level. So it's probably like some caution that happened,
Mhm.
like
Like
you
there's
know.
just so many rules, especially like for athletes, especially at like the D1 level, we have such a big platform, like so many people are following us, and it's
Exactly.
just like you got to be smart. You got to understand like, hey, social like the internet and it's stuff you've been like hearing since like you were a kid. Like the internet
Mhm.
doesn't go
Like,
away.
stay off the internet. Yes, like the internet is
Snapchats
just
don't go away. Yeah.
people, and just people are always just want to say something behind the screen, but
Yeah.
and that can like literally like hurt your self-esteem or anything. So I definitely feel like there needs to be some type of like management platforms, like or people that help you manage your platform. If that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. And then switching topics a little bit. I kind of want we kind of touched on this a little bit at the beginning, but right now, since like NIL is so new, you can't really not all athletes are getting deals. Like
Mm-hmm.
pretty much the big ones, like JD, like he's getting some big deals. We got even my teammate Caroline Bean, she's on the side of Wendy's. She's very well known. And then you'll like lower level athletes or not lower level athletes, but athletes who just aren't as big or doesn't
Just
have the
get enough
same
playing
record,
time.
like it's so much low. So like what do you think like athletic departments can do to help make it equal, I guess, and so everyone has equal opportunities?
I would say there definitely needs to be like a team what is it called? Like I feel like I talked about this one time. It was like a team NIL deal. Like I know multiple teams have like team NIL deals where like the whole team kind of gets the
Hmm.
same amount of money or whatever. So I definitely they should like implement that like more and not just like one time or whatever. Like it needs to be like
Right.
who I feel like whoever sponsors like the organization, like whoever sponsors K volleyball, like can, you know, um have a deal with the whole team to where they get a certain amount of money each month or whatever, like if they need to post or whatever, like or I feel like like whoever is managing the NIL for teams can like see if like, oh, like she may not be playing on the court, but she has a lot of followers on TikTok or she has a lot of followers
Right.
on Instagram or whatever, and then you would, utilize that or whatever, to find that athlete ways to get paid. But I feel like playing on the court, because I feel like it's a lot of players, especially on the football team, like literally, like JD, he isn't the highest paid player, like
Right.
football. Like I feel like it's a lot of people that's like underrated that like has big deals, but you wouldn't think they have big deals. That
Right.
make like
Right. No, I'd agree. I'd also think like I feel like athletics department should put in like even like classes like, hey, intro to NIL. This is how you get in touch with people. You slide into their DMs or you email them. You just be consistent about it. And
yeah,
I had like a meeting with one of our NIL people, and she was like, yeah, just really think about everything you use in a day or like everything you like you like to get your nails done, like hit up your nail place.
yeah,
Like she's like, you look like you got a spray tan, like hit up your spray tan place. And I'm like, yeah.
yeah. Like
And
I
it's really just being consistent with it. And
really,
I don't
I
know, I just feel like a lot of athletic departments like try to put all their eggs in one basket, whether that's like football or men's basketball, and it doesn't really like
exactly.
split the wealth, you know?
Yeah, like I feel like I definitely agree with that. How they put all the eggs into football and basketball. Like I feel like they can, like how they did Jalen Wilson with the Jay Wilson or whatever. Like for example, they could have did BK with Burger King. Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's not they don't want to try to like get other athletes out there. But I definitely feel like utilizing like those apps. Those I think because my cousin he plays at Clark Atlanta University, which is at HBCU in Atlanta.
Hmm.
And I remember he texted me, he was like, like I'm trying to get some money, like, but I don't like know how to go about it or whatever. And my friend who I used to play volleyball with in Texas, she played at a HBCU in St. Louis.
Hmm.
And I remember we obviously have each other on Snap, and I thought she unadded me on Snap because like I was like watching her from her like subscriptions or whatever, and
Hmm.
she posted like, "Hey, like y'all, like I didn't unadd y'all, like it's just NIL deal I have with Snapchat." And so then I hit her up, and I was like, how did you get this NIL deal or whatever? And she sent me this app. I think it was called like Open something. I can't remember.
Open door, is it open doors?
Yeah, and I sent it to
Yeah.
my cousin, and next thing you know, he got an NIL deal with Snapchat, and he would get paid like 1,000 a month to just post on Snapchat. And now he has like deals with like Beats, Dr. Dre, like all that.
Dang.
So he just like had to, just like be persistent and try. Like I feel
Hmm.
like it's all about like just like trying and like putting your name out there, and then like getting it approved, like and just building your own brand. Like especially like if you're
Right.
not like you can definitely find ways to like maybe start out with like the free NIL deals, like the bubbler and stuff. Like anybody can do the bubbler one, but like then that'll build like like they'll see you like, oh, like you're posting, you're consistent, you're
Right.
like marketing our brand or whatever. Like then I feel like then you will get more NIL deals rolling, like especially like when you build your fan base and like your platforms and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. You're almost like building your resume. Like
Exactly.
I like I definitely think there should be classes for it. I think there should be more assistance from athletic departments because obviously it's new. It is new for everyone, but I don't think like student athletes should have to be alone in trying to navigate that process.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree there needs to be some type of counseling or guidance, like to where it's equal for everybody, not just like certain people. Like I feel like for our football team, like I feel like anybody who comes into KU, like they play or whatever, like and they don't have a car, like I feel like they need to have a car. Like I feel like certain people, like that don't have a car on campus, they're playing good or whatever. Like you need to like make sure you're, you know, supporting this athlete. You want to keep them on campus, so you need to do anything to make them happy. Like so, I feel like you know those cars should be implemented like not only just football and women's basketball and basketball, but like to everybody because not a lot of athletes, have a car. So I feel like that needs to be um, you know, a thing that they implement like, oh, here's a way you can get a car if you do A, B, C, and D, like to all
Right.
athletes.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, that is it for our little podcast here. Thanks, Emily.
Thanks, KP, for having me.
All right, so yeah.
All right, bye.